Brought to you by the WZIP sports team.
This is Zip's Game Day.
Featuring pregame analysis.
Another quarterback who likes to hurt the defense with his legs, looking for the Zips to stop the run this week. The hottest takes.
And the Zips are going to beat the Rutgers Scarlet Knights by a score of 48-17.
Oh, come on, be for real, Dad.
Wow.
And all you need to know before game time.
We have to remember the Zips have not won here in nearly 20 years.
This is the year they're changing it all. Zips win this game.
Zips Game Day kicks off now.
Welcome back, Zips fans, to another edition of Zips Basketball Game Day. My name is Liam Riggenball, and I am joined by a maximum amount 4 capable analysts. Count them, 4. Gentlemen, introduce yourselves.
Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Willis, and I'm here to predict a correct prediction in this game analyzing.
Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Arellano, and I hope I win the whole thing for basketball predictions.
I got one loss on the season, but I'm still going to dominate the season after all.
Hello, Mr. One Loss.
It's Dev Lucas.
All right. And then my name is Ben. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I think Akron is going to win, so I'm going to make a good prediction here.
All right, quick episode. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, there it is. Play the music
Akron
now.
wins.
And behind the glass is the one and only Ty Paul,
Hey guys, glad to be here.
the greatest producer in the history of WZIP.
The only producer
Whoa.
in the
Well,
history
no,
of
whoa,
WZIP.
Ben did for the game show.
Whoa.
Still the greatest.
A rivalry like no other. Well,
The
gentlemen,
greatest.
as you alluded to, we did a pseudo game day last week on regular sports power talk because it was the day of the Zips traveling to West Lafayette to take on the number 2 Purdue Boilermakers. The Zips lost that game 97-79. What were your guys' initial gut reactions to that game, especially seeing the Zips go against a level of competition that, as we talked about that day, we just haven't seen before, haven't seen since Arizona tournament last year?
Yeah, I was actually pretty impressed with Akron. They kind of came out and kept it competitive in the first half. There was one point where they got it down to 5 points, and then Purdue kind of goes on a run, and they're up by double digits at halftime. I was very impressed with the Zips in the first half shooting from 3. It felt like they were giving themselves a chance, and they played their heart
both
out
teams
throughout
shot
the game.
39%.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go.
I'm so sorry. I feel like this is a game you kind of, I wouldn't say you scratch in a loss, but you kind of expected it because it's Purdue. They've always made the tournament. They kind of choke in the end, but they always at least guarantee a Sweet 16 spot. So despite them being the second seed and us losing, like you said, Dev, I think this was a great game for Akron. I mean, it's you never want to see a loss. I'm going to celebrate the fact that I was correct on saying Akron was 79 points, but I'm not happy that they scored more than us, obviously. But, I mean, I think, like you said, you kind of covered every point. This was a very impressive game. The team looked competitive even against a strong team. And let's be real here. Purdue had a 7'4" guy. Isn't that their tallest guy, 7'4"?
7-4, 7-5.
That's, with how our team is laid out, that's so hard to compete against. Our tallest guy is, what, Amani Law, 6'8"? Or something, or around that.
Around there, yeah.
It's so hard to compete against a guy that's like 8 inches on you. So it is what it is. I think it was. If I said it in the group chat, if there is such thing as a quality loss, I think this is one of them.
So, I mean, just want to add on from what Dev and Matt said. Honestly, it was a good game for Akron. You were able to give a battle to Purdue. Of course, it was expected Purdue was going to win because they've always made the NCAA tournament. They're always those top 5 spot, and I mean they're in a conference which is very competitive, the Big Ten. But honestly, I mean, just how you said, Matt, it's a loss. Yes, you don't want a loss, but it's a convincing loss.
Yeah,
because you battle against a top 2 team in the nation. And, I mean, the spread was what? Only 18? Only 18 points. So, I mean, honestly, Akron, yes, you get a loss, but you also look on the bright side. You had a great game. So
No, like, I totally agree on that. I feel like Akron really hasn't played anyone yet in the season. I think Purdue was, like, their very, like, first matchup. I'm kind of impressed just because... What, Purdue's like number 1 in the country right now?
I think they might have moved up to
number
one.
2?
Yeah, they did move up to 1 after that game.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of expected that they were not going to take this game home and win, but it's just really promising to see like all the action that they had in there. And I think just playing that tough team and coming out with a loss, it's not worrisome at all. It's also kind of early in the season anyways.
I felt the moment for Amani was a little too big. He only had 8 points in the game, and he had several fouls throughout the game. It just felt like for the Zips in general, they were fouling a lot.
Yes. They were falling for that pump fake all the time, especially the Mahaffey brothers.
Yeah, I'm watching the first half, and I'm like, we got several players with 3 fouls already. Are we talking about fouling out with, like, could someone foul out in the first half? Could that happen here? Because it felt like that. I did like to see the leadership of Evan Mahaffey. It did look like someone who had been there before, with him being in the Big Ten before this. It felt like he was he's been there before. And I think with Eric, he finally was in double figures for the first time this year, and I think that's potentially something that he can grow on as a player, because the first few games before that, he wasn't really making a huge impact.
I mean, honestly, just looking at this game, I have a question for all of y'all. Do you think that this offense is led by Amani, or is it Tabari's offense?
I feel like you can say both. It can easily be both, for sure. Like, Amani dominated the first 3 games, I would say. Tavari's been like that second guy, and you kind of expected that out of your 2 seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year we just kind of felt like for a while we didn't really know who it was, and then as down the stretch we kind of got to March, it was clearly Nate's offense.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like we kind of saw this last year too. I think this team plays at its best when they're playing inside out, when they're starting inside, getting easy buckets and forcing the defense to collapse down on them to be able to then kick it out and get easy 3 points, which I feel like is what this entire offense is designed around. It's designed to get a ton of open 3-pointers, and that's what they want to do. And the easiest way to do that is to have Amani Lyles playing like a beast inside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because then it opens it up.
Yeah, so I mean, if you go back at this game too, you kind of look at the box score and you see, Zip shot 39% from 3. They didn't really turn the ball over too much. They even won the turnover battle. Where did the Zips really lose this game? And it really comes down to rebounding.
Yeah.
All the second chance points that the Boilermakers were able to get. And I think that's really what ended up deciding this game. I think, Dev, you were talking about it with Amani not probably playing his best. And Matt, you were talking about the size disadvantage. I think both of those just come into play. And the Boilermakers were just able to outshot attempt the Zips.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
I remember seeing a sequence where Purdue had shot I think it was a 3-pointer, and then 4 rebounds came off that shot, because then they shot it again, missed it, and then that 7'4" guy just grabbed it out of nowhere, and then again. So
I mean, again, you kind of had to expect it, but I mean, even with all that adversity, I think Akron still battled as well as they could, and they didn't make it easy for Purdue to win that game. Even if just if you look at purely the box score, maybe, but I mean, you never watch a box score and know how the game went. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, when you consider this, you put up 100 points against Princeton, one of the better teams in the Ivy League schools, it feels like. They've been to the tournament the last couple of years.
JMU.
Penn State Shenango, you were expected to put up that much, but you still put up over 100 points in that game. You didn't play your best game. You still scored over 100 points, almost scored 110. And then you put 79 points up against the number 2 team in the country. So to me, I just feel like that it's kind of a moral victory in some level. Of course, we also talk about the JMU game, opening night. You score 85 points against one of the better teams in the Sun Belt, and it happens. So
that's what I'm saying.
If they're going to be as good as we think they're going to be, I mean that's good, because the Sun Belt, I feel like, is a conference that comes out with a little bit of a higher seed than what the MAC does. You're talking about MAC feels like you're typically the last few years is like an 11 to like 13 seed.
Yeah,
the Sun Belt could easily be like a 7-8 seed.
For like the last 3 years, I think.
I mean, you've always said, right, Dev, about it all depends on like the Sun Belt, who goes out, and then what we get seeded. Because I remember you mentioning something about Buffalo being seeded.
Yeah, the 2018 to 2019 Buffalo Bulls, I believe they were a 7th seed. They came out of it. Wow. They only lost 4 games that year. They did have a quality win against a ranked opponent, but that ranked opponent, as the season went on, was not nearly ranked. They were unranked. They had a very disappointing year. It was West Virginia. At the time, they were the number 12 team when they played them, and they fell out of everything. And but the committee kept that for Buffalo. They were ranked pretty much the rest of the way, and they ended up being, I believe, a 7th seed when the tournament came around, and they did win a first-round tournament game. And I kind of go back to, well, this year, is this Akron Zips team better than what that Bulls team was? I'm kind of hoping so, because I feel like the Zips potentially, it could be. I know it's so early right now, so am I necessarily right on any of that? But I feel like we have a lot of hope for that, because it means the MAC, potentially the committee looks at the MAC not being a 11 seed going into the tournament.
I mean, especially after last season as well, how convincing the team was. And yeah, we did lose some players, but there's also some players that came back. So like Shema Scott and Amani and also Tabari. So
yeah, I mean, looking at the Bulls season right now, like they're 5-0, they're first in the MAC, but they've also had some very weak teams, and they haven't scored nearly as high as Akron did. Like, their highest game is their last one against Vermont, 94-90. We'll get to that game later on, but I mean, still, you got to look at this Akron team compared to everyone. They obviously are in the running, and I think everyone expected them to be at least near the top of the MAC to open the season. And that's even what we talked about, too. We expected them to be at that top spot. Might not be right now, but we're also played 4 games. Kent State's played 6. Miami of Ohio's played 3. Buffalo's played 5. So
Yeah, I don't like saying this because I feel like I always say this, but it feels like that these beginning of season games here in November and for most of December, of course, Akron does have a conference game in December against Eastern Michigan later on, but it feels like they're almost like preseason games, especially when you consider the MAC is typically not going to be an at-large conference. There hasn't been an at-large team that has come out of the MAC in addition to the champion,
Except for Akron.
since the 1990s. Except for Akron this year potentially, but probably not because you lost to Purdue. If you would have beat Purdue, and
For
if,
sure.
if
I think
JMU would
Akron
have, and
would be
if JMU
ranked.
would have came out of the Sun Belt, and you lose a heartbreaker like what Miami did last year against Akron in the MAC championship, you'd probably do come out of the MAC as well. But we
make it
throw
easy
that
on
out,
yourself.
throw
Just win
that
the
completely
tournament.
out.
Just win the MAC
So now you have to win the
Yeah.
MAC tournament. But if you do, and you score 79 points against the number 2 team in the country, you played it well against JMU, you might come out of this thing not as a 12 seed.
Yeah.
You might come out of this thing as like a 10 or a 9 seed,
Just
and
depends
that's a
on-
little better for you. I
depends on
feel
what
like
the
when you talk
committee
about the
thinks.
tournament. So
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, one more thing on this game, too. I wanted to hit on Tavari Johnson being the leading scorer for the Zip with 20 points. And going back to something that Matt said last week, really still questioning somehow Tavari's ability to play against bigger guards. And I think that he really continued to put those claims to rest. this
Yeah,
week.
no, I'm glad to be wrong because that was very impressive. When I looked at the stat sheet and saw he was leading the score, I'm like, hey, that's exactly what I wanted to see. I don't care that we lost with right now. I'm seeing that as like he's doing what he needs to do just to be able to get the ball in the bucket. That's how you play basketball. I mean, that's how you win basketball games. You get the ball in the bucket, and he did that, and he found a way to do it. So I'm very happy with him.
Yeah, so we know he can hang. What do you guys think about the rest of this team and this team as a whole when it comes to playing against competition like this, Power 4 competition down the road, especially when it comes to March? Because as we talked about going into this game, this is what this game is really for.
Yeah.
See how you stack up against those teams, see what you're going to look like in March, see what you need to work on for March, and what do you think?
I feel
what
like
you need to do?
as the season goes on, the team's going to build more chemistry. They're going to be able to like figure out different play styles to be able to really attack those bigger guys. So I wouldn't be too worried about it. This was like the Princeton was a good test because we talked about that, but Purdue I think was the bigger test because I don't know if we've beaten this point to the ground, but they were the number 2 ranked team in the nation. So obviously they're good, and we know they're good, and they have their big. So it's a matchup of how can we combat against them. And for the most part, I think we did very well. Again, more to work on, but it's also early season. You know there's more to work on. There's always something to do.
Yeah.
If you already have your season figured out by week 2, game 5 or 6, you're going to be derailed for the rest of the season.
And also, I'm not even worried about Buffalo, like them being 5-0 and in play right now because I've just checked their schedule. They haven't really played anyone.
That's
Good.
what I'm saying. That's what I said.
And conference play hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no.
as
Once
far
conference
as-
play starts, then the real
And
fun
then
begins.
we know how Akron
Yes.
is in conference play.
Well, and because
Good action.
especially because right now everyone in conference is tied 0-0, so there's no one really who's ahead in the MAC
Yeah.
right now. I mean, you could go based on overall record, I guess, but the
that's-
fact is that there's some teams that played harder competition than others right now. So
Yeah,
we saw it a few years ago with the Akron's women's team. They were 12-2 in non-conference, and they ended up being like a 7th seed in the MAC tournament, and they got our coach fired. So very easily stuff like that happens. And then we all know the Ryan Gensler years that we have seen. It's been slowly developing. That's the women's team, though. In terms of what Akron can do against upper-level opponents, I don't know if Akron can ever compete against a top 5 school. I don't know if that can happen. I think more of a middle-of-the-pack rankings-wise, Akron could very well have a shot, though, against. So that's why it's very important this year to me that you come into this tournament, the NCAA tournament, as an 8 or 9 seed. So you have to do kind of what Buffalo did, where you have to play very well here in this Paradise Jam. You have to play very well in conference play. And it's going to have to all add up in this season to, I believe, 5 losses or less for you to be seeded that high.
And I mean, sorry.
No, that's just pretty much what I'm saying. So I just think you have to, if you want any chance at March Madness this year, if you get there, you have to play very well overall and probably lose 5 games or less.
And I mean, against like our matchups that we have this season, I'm not really worried about our starting 5 because you see Amani with 8, Eric Mahaffey with 10, Tabari with 20, Shema Scott with 9, and then Evan with 12. What I'm really worried about this season is our bench.
Yeah,
Because-
I was about to say, just looking at like the stat sheet too, like the bench really didn't make that big of an impact in this game.
Because last season, if I don't know if you guys remember, but that was one of our like strengths that helped us in every single game was when one of the starters wasn't really showing up, the bench was coming in and just absolutely being so good from like coming in with points that you needed. So I mean, honestly, I just like you mentioned, Matt. I just want to see overall how this season goes. There's still a lot of games to play, but that's something to keep an eye on.
That Purdue game, I'm not penciling in with how the bench played. I think Sharon Young's going to be fine. He's a great bench player. He's proved that last year. He's looked good this year.
Just got in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
think-
talking about other players.
I think
like
Bowen
the new
Hardman's
ones.
okay. I think after those two, though, it definitely does get a little scary because I don't know if Marvin Masime Kamali is that necessarily. To me, he's too small in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Who knows? You can prove me wrong. We'll see what ends up happening. But I think it really comes down to those three players for me off the bench. And I think two of them are okay. The other one is a little small, but maybe he'll be okay down the stretch.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think the bench is kind of TBD for now. I think they do need to find, like, we know Sharon Young's going to be there. We know Marvin, we know Bowen are going to be there. They're going to be contributors. I'd like them to find a fourth guy who's averaging consistent double-digit minutes and really able to contribute on this team. But moving on from off of that Purdue game to
I
this
have a
week's
question.
game. Oh, all right.
What's Paradise Jam?
I was just going to get into it.
Transition. What's Paradise Jam?
It's paradise. We are,
Yeah.
it is going to be paradise because Akron's going to win the Paradise Jam. So
Yeah.
it will be paradise come Sunday.
Yes, as I was going to say before Matt asked what Paradise Jam was,
Rudely
the Zips traveled
interrupting
down
us.
to the Virgin Islands this week to Paradise Jam to take on Iona, one of those beginning of the season tournaments, a lot like the Maui Invitational. Again, the Zips taking on Iona. The field this year consists of Akron, Charleston, Evansville, Green Bay, Iona, Oregon State, UMass, and Yale.
The Packers.
Green Bay Packers.
So if the Zips win this game initially, they'll take on the winner of Evansville and Oregon State, and then possibly a championship after that out of the last four. But diving in first to this Iona Gales team. Sorry. They're 4-0 so far this season. They haven't really played a tough non-conference schedule, playing Hofstra, Kansas City, Fordham, and Princeton. They are 4-0, though, and atop the MAAC. What do we think about this Iona team? A team that's perennially been pretty good, been able to make several tournament appearances, and just been a very competitive mid-major school in general. Do we see this as another big test for the Zips?
Well, I think it's interesting when you talk about common opponents, how they also dominated Princeton as well.
Yeah.
And again,
Not as
Princeton,
thoroughly, though. Not as thoroughly.
it's true.
I want to note real quick on that I think it is interesting to see that against Akron, against Iona, Princeton only put up 69 points in each game. Like it's not even the number; it's the fact that they put up the same score in each game. I think is pretty silly.
I'm just glad they didn't put up 6-7 because would have
Yeah.
been.
You're just forcing it.
I'm
at this
forcing
point.
it every show we got to do.
One more, you're off the show.
No,
One
I'm
more,
glad
off
you're
the
done
show.
with this.
No, anyways, the
Boo this man.
boo this man.
Boo this man.
I'm glad that. Anyways, no, I think that does make me a little nervous for sure. That there was kind of common blowout against Princeton. I don't think Princeton is that bad of a team. Like Princeton to me, they've been to the tournament like in the last few years. Like unless they lost everybody, which I didn't think so heading into that Princeton game earlier this year. I thought Princeton was going to stack up fine against Akron, and obviously they didn't. They don't stack up well against Iona, so I don't know. I think it's going to be really interesting to see. They haven't played as tough a competition as Akron, which maybe that favors the Zips for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the analytics show that the matchup predictor, Akron's favored 70.3 to 29.7. And, I mean, if you just look at, like, just the team stats as a whole, Akron's averaging 94.3 a game, Iona 87.8. The opponent points per game is where I think it gets interesting. And this is why I feel more confidence in Akron. They have been allowing their opponents 72 points a game, on Iona 76. So I think that shows more of a testament that Akron is like a more like dominating team than Iona has been to the start this season. The Iona's been having a initial field goal percentage above 500, but Akron can out rebound, out assist, out block, out steal, basically every other statistical category. Akron leads over Iona. So I wouldn't expect like a total blowout or a total domination, but I would expect Akron to really like take control of the game early and not let it go.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned because they do look a little bigger than Akron. For
Yeah,
sure.
but we've shown that that isn't really
But
like.
that wasn't a problem when you
And
played.
nobody that
when you
plays
played
really is.
Princeton.
I mean, they're both their forwards that play significant minutes are both only 6'8".
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I mean they're a team that we can, despite the size. Akron's a team that size does not matter to them. They can. They doesn't matter how big or small their teams are playing against. They're gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yes, this Iona team is a guard-led team, especially led by Columbus native C.J. Anthony. He's a 6-foot guard, and then 6'5" guard Kosi Akametu. I hope that's right.
Should be.
Both leading the team in scoring, but they seem to be a very balanced team with 5 guys all averaging double figures. Do you think this kind of benefits them against the Zips? Because I think they're going to be a team that's going to be able to run with the Zips. They've proven that everyone on their team, everyone that sees minutes can score the ball efficiently, and I think they might be able to keep up in a track meet type game.
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
Yeah, I think it benefits them for sure. I think it's going to be a test for Akron because you're playing a team that is very well rounded. But I still think Akron just overall is the better team here. It's going to be close though. It's going to come down to both the teams playing very well, and I think we could be talking about a game that is 5 points or less.
It's gonna have to come down to the rebound battle.
Yeah, it's going to have to come down to that, which again maybe it favors them because I think they're a little taller, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
It's all about tenacity.
With those big guys, Lamin Sabali, consistent double-double threat, averaging roughly 12 and 8, and then their other big guy, Toby Harris, is also another 6'8" guy who's averaging 12 points a game. So they do have kind of a Twin Towers effect, if you want to say that. Again, they're only 6'8", but they are able to play a good two-man game down there. Outside of Amani Lyles obviously having a great game, which is something that you're going to need with a team who's able to play through their bigs like this, who else do you think is going to have to step up, and why is it Marvin Masime Kamali?
No, I actually feel like it's more of an Evan Mahaffey kind of guy.
I was about to say the same thing.
But Marvin Masime Kamali for sure. He definitely has to.
I think he's got to be able to come in this game, play minutes. He doesn't have to score a ton, but just be able to play really solid defense down low, which he's been shown to be able to do.
I'm more looking at Evan Mahaffey just because I feel like he's been a leader for this team, but it's not necessarily showing up in the box score, I feel like. And I think this is the type of game where it does show up in the box score, and he finally takes over a game for Akron, and he's finally potentially our leading scorer.
I mean, that's part of the reason why I brought him in.
Exactly.
I have to say, different from you guys, I feel like Tabari has to do the same thing he did against Purdue. Repeat it. Because honestly, I'd say that from watching that game against Purdue, he was able to lead the offense. When we needed points, he was able to be there. And then also another player who I could say has to show up as well, that you could say didn't really show up in that Purdue game, was Shamas Scott.
Oh, yeah, that's a
The
good point,
sixth
too.
man of the year last year. So
Yeah, he has to show up for
I
sure.
think that happens though with him. Like we've seen that he's kind of one of those streaky guys. Can get hot quick, but
yeah.
isn't all like he's not always going to fill it up every single night. And that's just the sport of basketball. Like it kind of is what it is. But outside of anything we've already talked about, do you think there's any unique challenges that this Iona team presents that the Zips may struggle with in trying to play likely Oregon State in the next round?
I think Akron just can't overlook them because to me, the most important matchup of this Paradise Jam is Akron and Oregon State.
Yeah.
I think you have to get to them, and if you don't beat Iona, there's a good chance that you might not play them at all in this Paradise Jam, and I think you have to if you're Akron, especially when you talk about March Madness potentially down the road this season, when you talk about
prepare.
just seeding purposes and being prepared, because they're easily the best team in this Paradise Jam. Unless Akron beats them, then maybe Akron's the best team in this
you
Paradise
gotta,
Jam.
no matter what tournament you're in, you got to be prepared. Because honestly, I mean, main goal for Akron is to get that win in the NCAA tournament. So
You just gotta show this Iona team their respect because they deserve it. I think
any
Akron
opponent, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Because if you just blow past a team, then they can easily be like on upset watch. If you're just like focusing too hard on what's next, then you're just gonna drop
Game by
something,
game.
and it's gonna kill momentum, and then that's just gonna fall and just keep going. It's gonna be like a little snowball going down a hill, turn into like a big old snowball.
Yeah, honestly, man, I like your references this episode.
Hey man, ball knowledge.
Sick references, dude.
Game,
You know
hey,
best references.
game.
You're welcome.
Take your game by game.
I'm just built diffy, man.
All right, so with that, we'll get into predictions and locks of the week. For predictions, after last week, everybody's still good except Dev's got his one loss, thinking the Zips will beat Purdue. But other than
I
that,
tried so
we're all-
hard. I was trying to will it to
we're all
existence.
I like
unscathed.
the how hopeful you are. So
I'm starting to
100%.
I'm starting to think, Liam, that I have to like double jinx it or something because I was watching the
Cry.
football game last Tuesday.
Oh, yeah.
And I said they were gonna win, but then I'm like texting everybody, and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, Akron has a horrible offense. Then a one play 75-yard touchdown. I'm like, okay, maybe I have to say Akron has to lose today. Like maybe that's what I have to do.
I've been saying this for actual years to just fade Dev.
That's what I have to do.
Just go opposite of what he says.
And it's not just in Zip Sports, it's just everything. You just gotta
Yeah.
fade Dev, man. If you fade Dev, you can't go broke taking a profit. You're
I once-
You're winning.
I once also
on
said.
the whole, you're gonna come out on top.
Hey, I'm the same guy that said, the Guardians are going to lose 100 games last 2 years. I said the Browns are going to win 10 games. Best they could do is 9, and we're not even getting close to that. So
if you want
here
to
we
do some
go.
props, go and listen to Dev.
But you know what? In football, my standings were pretty close, so that's okay.
Yeah, I still won though.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not this year, but last year you predicted the Zips to win essentially every game.
I think I said 8 wins last
Yeah.
year.
This
One
year,
point.
you
This
said
year, I think I
like
said 7 this year. I was kind of
no,
close, though.
it was way more than that. Every week it was your Akron Zips are gonna beat every other team.
No, but I mean-
final score.
No, but like at
But-
the beginning of the season,
We're
he
just
had
over here
said
like
7
put the pipe
wins.
down, bro.
Yeah.
No, but what I mean is I think like the first initial episode
Yeah.
of Game Day this year, I think I said this is
7
gonna win
wins.
7. So then it'll be in our little football recap podcast. But anyway, getting
Go
back
check
to this.
that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Finally
check it
back
out.
on track. I'll start with you, Matt. What's your lock of the game?
I
for
think
the
my
Zips
lock of the
against Iona?
game is that the Mahaffey brothers really show off their brotherhood, and I think they are going to be the two guys really that take over this game.
All right, a little Sonic and Knuckles action.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mario and Luigi.
Is it going to be?
Jameer and
Jameer and
Monty.
David Montgomery.
Is
There
it
you
is,
go.
is it going to be like against Purdue where they combine for 20, or think they're going to combine for more than 20?
I think it's going to be more than 30.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
So they're really
Hot take.
taking it
More
over.
than 30. All right, Juan.
I got Tabari scoring 20 points again.
Amani Lyle's back on track. He's over 15 in the game.
Dang, that was gonna be mine. It wasn't. It was. I was gonna use Amani, but I'll pivot.
I think Mr. Tavari Johnson is gonna be the leading scorer for the Zips for this game. Is that what you're gonna say?
I mean, I said 20 points. He's
20
gonna
points.
Score,
I
yeah.
think 25. I think
25?
Off.
Yeah, I could see that, yeah.
I'll finish it with: we haven't seen a Bowen Hardman flash yet. I'm going Bowen Hardman 20 points.
Wow.
Lighting it up, getting hot from deep.
Owen
Wait,
Hardman.
but what about Ty? We didn't get his.
Yeah, Ty.
Oh
lock.
gosh,
We're putting you on the spot, man.
I don't think I'm educated enough to give this guess.
Just say
give a
someone who's
guess.
going to score. Just give me something.
John Gross coaching masterclass.
Yeah, something like
absolutely. How about that?
You're welcome. I lobbed you up. It's like the LeBron and
that. We lobbed him. Yeah, we
D-Wade.
lobbed him.
D
with
Wade. Who's LeBron? Who's D Wade?
I put the lob up, so
That's
I'm
true.
D-Wade.
Of course.
I got you, dogs.
All right, Ty, we'll stick with you. We'll go to score predictions. I don't even need an actual score. Just who's gonna win this game.
Oh, Zips.
All right, Zips.
Okay.
Matt, I need your winner loser prediction and the score from you. You are an actual analyst on here.
All right, so
I can only make Ty do so much.
I'm aware.
I always
He's
make
behind the
I always
screen.
make Ty give me the score and a lock,
man.
and he always looks at me like,
I don't know what to
Confusion,
do.
like, what should I say?
I like Akron winning this game. Final score, I like 89 to 62. 89-62, Akron wins this game.
Juan.
I got Akron winning this game, of course. I'd say 95 to 80.
all right. So you already know your Akron Zips. They are going to beat Iona by a final score of 87 to 61.
Okay.
Bring on Oregon State, where they blow them out too.
Whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Hold on.
Chill out, Bucko. Chill out,
take
Bucko.
it, take it
Zips on a
again.
warpath. Zips on a warpath.
Oh,
Chill,
no. We
Bucko.
do not need...
I'm not gonna lie. I think it's gonna be a really tight matchup against
Okay.
Iona. I'm thinking more like 82 to 75. Zips take the win.
Okay. Liam.
I think
First
the Zips
appearance.
also get another victory here. I'm going Zips 86, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm going Iona 82. Zips 86, 82.
Yeah, I mean, easily this game can go like either way. It's going to be either super tight or big blowout. I don't think there's going to be like the casual like 10-point, like 5-point win, or 10-point, 12-point win. Like this isn't.
Iona's the team that scored
Yeah.
81, 105, 76, and 89 this year. Like they can put the ball in the hoop. They can.
Yeah.
This game could easily just turn into an absolute track meet, and I'm here for it.
No,
Yeah.
I am too, and I like I said with my prediction, I just think that it's going to be close in the first half, and then Akron's going to run away with it in the second half. I think that's
Yeah.
what's going to happen, and the Zips will be ready to face Oregon State in the
mean,
next round of
but
the
like,
Paradise Jam.
Oregon State needs to win their first
like,
round though.
They're going
against
to.
Evansville.
They're
right?
going to.
Hey,
Evansville's
yeah.
like 2-3 on the year. They're,
Hey,
they're
don't-
going
don't
to.
hate
But
on
like
Evansville.
but like Liam said, honestly, what's gonna conduct what happens with this game is gonna be if Amani's able to play how Amani plays inside in order to create that space for those threes. Because honestly, I feel like that's what makes the Akron Zips so lethal. That 3-point
Needs to
shot.
set up my Bowen Hardman legacy game.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that just the overall key of this game is the defense just needs to like dominate as a team, and like the defensive connection just needs to take over anything else. Like we can shoot like 39% from three, and still have like a defensive battle that will allow us to really shut them down. If we can do that, I think Akron away just walks away with it.
Or also a player who could also pop off that I could have said, Sharon Young.
True.
Honestly, I would want that because Akron, this is for you. I remember hearing that from him when they won the MAC. So hopefully he's able to
This
have
for
a
you.
good game.
All right. Hopefully Sharon's able to have a good game. And that'll do it for us today on Zips Game Day. Once again, my name was Liam Rigabon, and I was joined by...
Matt Willis, go Zips.
Juan Ariano, let's get this win, Zips.
Dev Lucas, you already know Zips are beating them today.
And this was Ben. We're gonna win this tournament.
And Liam Rigabon. Zip go the Zippers. See you next time.
Zip.